I just was curious about bringing people together who could talk about metal and hard rock and their relationship with radio. And we've been fortunate enough that we've got a really nice, diverse panel of speakers today.
I'm passionate about rock and metal. I always have been. I think it's important to support anything that goes on in the scene. And I was keen just to talk about how my job works, and I suppose share some of my experiences, because quite often people don't get it or don't understand how it works. So yeah, it was just nice to come up and talk to some like-minded people about what it is that I do.
I did my degree in English, which was kind of like a panic, because I was like, oh god, the only thing I'm interested in is books. Like from like an academic point of view, I didn't think music could be an academic thing. And then I got into radio at university and discovered that I was really passionate about kind of gender politics in music, the state of the industry, finance and commercial side of music. And that's why I did my master's degree, just to kind of get more of a formal education and that kind of thing.
One of the things that's historically been a problem has been kind of things like venues shutting down, which can be for various reasons. COVID didn't help, but also maybe the fact that it's a very changeable scene. Some of the venues become really important for a brief period of time and then they go again. But we haven't had, over the last 20 years, one or two really good venues that have been hubs for the metal music community. We're starting to get that now, I think, with venues like Outpost. Now we're working with District for tonight's event and things like that. We're getting really good attendances at some of the events. So I think things are changing, they're becoming less challenging.
Like as I said in my panel, I would like, whether I make it in radio or not, but I would like my children or people in my family that when I'm a bit older, I would like them to see that radio isn't a male-dominated industry. I would like them to see that, if they wanted to go, not even radio, but TV, anything, I'd like them to see that they could do that. And I think now it's great, Clara Amthor's just been announced to host the Brits, which is amazing, and I think kids will be watching that on TV and see this radio star who's a woman, and they'll be like, oh, I could do something like that.
I think radio is personal. There's a presenter there. There's someone that will give information about the music that you're listening to, enthuse about the band, talk about the artist. It's a personal touch and a connection that you don't get through streaming.
I think more now than ever, radio is really important. I feel like more young people are getting into radio. I think that is helped by video and how young people are getting radio videos on TikTok and social media that, like 10 years ago, radio was only accessible via audio, but now it's accessible through all sorts of things. I think it's just going to grow and grow, and I think supporting upcoming talent will keep the next generation of bands and artists having radio in mind, because otherwise, if the bands that are going to come around in 10 years' time aren't aware of radio, then they aren't going to be wanting to support that and wanting to be supported by that.
I think there was concern at one point that the popularity of radio would diminish due to streaming and the way that people consume music nowadays, but I think it's become increasingly obvious that actually, again, people do like to have that personal connection, and to have that person in the background talking to them, talking about music, enthusing about music, or whatever it might be, Again, I think it's that personal thing that you don't get with streaming.
There's a strong sense of community, and it feels like, certainly from the sort of concerts and events I've been to over the years, it feels like a safe space. It feels like somewhere you can go be with similar people, and it doesn't matter how you look. You know, I don't look like a traditional rocker, you know, I don't have tattoos or long hair or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can be yourself, and I think that element, I don't want to sugarcoat it, because of course there's always going to be variations in experience, but I think, you know, that element is for me one of the things that I really like about it.